from Seaside. That's Bob Mathis leading the pack on that saxophone. Oh my goodness, that is Max on the Paul Lloyd Warner Busendorfer. Paul there on those skins. That's Harley on that bass fiddle. Nice job, guys. You're the best sound anyone can find in San Diego on a Sunday morning. That is for sure. Recently, the Reader read a whole article and said you guys are the best. Everybody needs to be here for the music. Forget the speaker. It's the music that they're here. Great job. Anyway, hey, good morning, Seaside. Woo! What a joy it is to be here with you today. It's the last Sunday of the month, which is our prayer wall Sunday, which means we eliminate the announcements, which is why I'm standing up here at the beginning, just welcoming you to Seaside. And it doesn't matter if it is me or somebody else, we always begin with acknowledgement of of the Spirit in the house. And symbolically, we have a light holder, an individual who is just committed to being there as a conduit for the Spirit. And today, it is the head of our director of our finances and administration here at Seaside, a wonderful practitioner and student in the School of Ministry. That is Audra Nicole. Come on out. Holding that light there. And so we light this together, as I said, symbolically, just honoring that presence and that light that is here. And we have somebody who's that custodian, that watcher, that person who just sits with the light as a representation of Spirit. And she sits in our prayer center. And our prayer center is, if you want prayer, that's where you go to get prayer from a practitioner at the end of the service, other than this Sunday, the last Sunday of the month. Then all our practitioners line up in the front, and we'll invite you to come have a prayer with them. But that's where the prayer requests are, back there. So if you have a prayer that you would like to submit, that's where you fill out the prayer request form. It looks like this. And prayer is really where it's at. You know, that's what we use to cast that vibration of healing and wholeness. And this is what the prayer request looks like. It is back there. You fill it out. You put in your name and say, hey, this is what's going on. And this is what I expect the outcome in my prayer. And what will happen is it will be kept in confidence in our League of Practitioners. There's about 40 individuals that will pray on it every day for a week. So do that. If you'd like a prayer sent to you, put your email on there and we'll send that to you. So I encourage you to take advantage, because healing is what this philosophy is about. So that's our prayer center. Plan to be part of that if you'd like, but it's my joy to welcome you to Seaside. It is a community that is thriving, that seems to be growing, that there's actually healing that is going on, that these forms that come in, I hear people saying, whoa, my world turned around, and it works. It's a community where we care for each other, we support each other. We're a spiritual family. We are a place where you can come in the times of joy, the times of searching, the times of pain. We are here. And so why don't you stand up and say hello to someone who's next to you right here, right now.
Get into some music.
I'm
Marissa.
Yes.
Thank you. Hey, look at your fingers sparkling there. What's up?
Oh, a little thing happened. No big deal.
Oh, yeah. Now, you better not tell your guy that.
It's a big deal. I'm getting married. It's
Con-
really exciting.
Woo! Congratulations.
Thank you. We're very, very happy. Thank you very much.
You
Lisa.
waited your whole life for this
I
moment.
did. I waited a good long while, and I'm ready for it.
Oh, well, that's exciting. Congratulations. When you get married?
June 6th next year in Missouri.
Oh, in Missouri. Oh, my
Yes,
goodness.
We're both from Missouri, but we met here in San Diego.
How nice.
Isn't that
Well,
funny?
congratulations. It's fun for us to
Thank
see
you.
that and experience that. All right. Well, oh, my goodness. Just wonderful things happen around Seaside. It just good happens all the time. And so you want to share this. This is a community that says, if you got a cell phone, you don't have to put it out. Get rid of it. I ask you to turn it on, check in, let your friends know where you are on a Sunday morning. Let them know the fabulous music that's in store for them, that they can watch it live on Facebook. Go to Facebook Live. And you guys at home, we know you're there. It's just a joy to be able to share Sundays with you. Your presence truly makes a difference. And so we love you. We honor you, as well as all of us that come together. And doesn't matter if you are with us virtually or physically, one of the things we love to do here is pray. We put prayer first. We start with lighting the light. Also, we move deeper with a wonderful prayer. And today we have a profound prayer. Kay Sorensen, who leads our, organizes Monday nights around here with deep. You bring him in from Nepal. Actually, he lives here. But you guys clear out the sanctuary, and you got bowls and gongs and last week. Harps.
Didgeridoos and
Wow.
on and on and on.
And it's a sound meditation. And last week you had over 100 people, I understand.
Yeah.
Wow. So if you want to know a happening spot in San Diego County, it's right here tomorrow night at what time?
6:30.
6:30. Don't miss it. We've been doing it for 4 or 5 years now, and it is truly a profound experience.
It's 10 years.
10 years. I knew it was good. Time disappears when you're playing in those other realms.
Oh, time flies when we're having fun. So I invite you into the stillness for a few moments, allowing the vibration of peace to just wash over you. When the mind is calm and still, the beloved spirit can be felt as harmony, as unity, compassion, kindness, love, and forgiveness. For we live, move, and have our being in this one life, this one body of universal God. For there is a power and a presence that is completely conscious and aware of itself as our goodness. For knowing that Spirit is right here in the midst of this service. I know there is a beloved, loving Spirit that breathes life into all of our prayers and desires. For it is the goodness of God that moves in, through, and as this very community. And I know that this Seaside community, individually and collectively, is creating a world that works for everyone. And for this, I am so grateful to be here in this moment.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know
Thank you, Carissa, and thank you, Kay, for setting this tone and this space for this morning's message. Good morning, everybody. My name is Catherine Cespedes. I am a second-year practitioner student here at Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, and it is my honor to welcome you here this morning. If this is your first time here, welcome. Seaside is part of a greater global community called Center for Spiritual Living, and there are over 400 all over the globe. So we have prepared something especially for you so you can take home and learn more about the philosophy and also get more information and get plugged into Seaside right here. You can ask any of the practitioners to help you find this packet, or you can even ask myself. You can also ask Reverend Christian. You may have seen him, long curly hair, very bouncy, blue eyes, and he will direct you to me, and I will get you your packet. So this summer we have been doing a Seaside Summer Series where we have been looking into movies, the hidden messages of the cinema. And this week we are watching we're talking about Antwone Fisher. So I have prepared a reading from Practicing the Presence, written by Joel S. Goldsmith. Now let us be very clear on one point. We cannot harm anybody, and nobody can harm us. No one can injure us, but we injure ourselves by a violation of the law of love. The penalty is always upon the one who is doing the evil, never upon the one to whom it is done. The injustice we do to another reacts upon ourselves. The theft from another robs ourselves. The law of love makes it inevitable that the person who seems to have been harmed is really blessed. He has a greater opportunity to rise than ever before, and usually some greater benefit comes to him than he had ever dreamed possible. Whereas the perpetrator of the evil deed is haunted by memories until that day comes when he can forgive himself. The whole proof that this is true is in the one word, self. God is our selfhood. God is my selfhood, and God is your selfhood. God constitutes my being, for God is my life, my soul, my spirit, my mind, and my activity. God is myself. That self is the only self there is. Myself and yourself. So if I rob yourself, who am I really robbing? I rob myself. And if I lie about yourself, about who am I really lying? I'm lying about myself. And if I cheat yourself, who am I really cheating? I cheat myself. Therefore, I ask you to repeat after me. There is only one self, and that which I do to another, I do really to myself. Thank you.
Okay, Seaside. I'm very excited to announce our guest artist today, Gia Chambodi. And we have really big news for you, too. So in 1 week from today, she is graduating as a practitioner. Yeah, big deal, right? 3.5 years of hard work to get there. And she's now going to be serving others, and that's so beautiful. Also, she has music that is very uplifting and serves our community as well. You can chat with her on the break if you want to find out more about her newest songs, and I think she'll share one with you right now. Thank you.
Good morning.
Truth is the power of
right. That is Gia Chimbate. Woo! All right. Peace, power of my word. Woo, that's a good one. All right. So thank you. Hey, your hubby's sitting out there if you want to hang out with him. Okay, you can do that. It won't bother me. Anyway, so what we've been doing here at Seaside this year is we have been taking a look at healing principles that are in our life and how we can apply them to our world. And in the summertime, thought it would be fun to take a look at some of the hidden messages of the cinema and in regards to healing. And we started this series with Black Panther, and it was filled rich with metaphors, but a profound message was dying, to your older self and awakening to your true self, that which you're intended and were born to be. Then the next week, we took a look at the movie Patch Adams, which was about humor in the healing. Then last week, we joined Reese Witherspoon on her trek as we entered the wild with her and came to realize what can happen in grief and maybe some mistakes that we make that we have to go back and just kind of clean up a little bit, deal with the mistakes and our emotions around those from our past. And today's movie is Antwone Fisher, and it is about some of those childhood experiences that just lurk like demons within our subjective that we didn't create, unlike Reese, who created her own challenges. Some of them we didn't really have much option here. We kind of had those going on, but they still need to be dealt with. And that's part of the healing journey and the experience. And this film is it's a powerful movie. It was written by Antwone Fisher. It was called Finding Fish. It was his autobiography. And he took a writing class, and the teacher introduced him to a producer. The producer read the script. It wasn't that good, but he started writing for me. And as he was writing, he rewrote his script 41 times. And then Fox finally picked it up on it. And Denzel Washington, this was his directorial debut, as well as young Derek Luke, who played Antwone Fisher. And this movie just blew me away. It was totally caught me by surprise, and I got messages this week from people who've been watching it for the first time going, oh my goodness, there is such power. And the movie begins with a little guy. He's out in the fields. I don't know, it could be Missouri. No, it wasn't Missouri because it's probably near Cleveland. But it could be anywhere, actually, because it's a little kid in the fields looking, and in the distance is this big barn, and this man, reaches out his hand, and the barn doors, the two of them just open up, and this little boy walks into the barn, and it's like a big spread of food. It's like a family reunion. There is across the tables just all sorts of delectable delights, and the room is filled with the elders and the young kids and the families and the friends and just the ancient ones of the clan. And this little kid sits down at the head of the table, and they deliver pancakes, and he is about ready to dive into them, and off goes a cowbell and a gunshot, and boom, Antwone Fisher wakes up in his bunk bed on a Navy ship, and he had only been dreaming. And so he gets up and goes to, prepare his body for the day, and goes in to wash up in the bathroom. And it's not like, I guess in the Navy, you don't get private bathrooms there, And so he's in there, long line of guys, gets into altercation, and they fight and they duke it out. And so Antwone, he's taken before the officers, and you kind of get the sense that these alterations is a pattern of his. And he is charged, Article 128, for attacking a ranking service person, and he is fined $200, be taken from the next 2 months' pay. He is to be demoted a full rank to third petty officer. He is relegated to staying on the ship. He is bound to the ship for the next 45 days with extra duties. And he is, I don't think it's called sentenced, but he is sent to 3 visits of a psychiatrist. And he doesn't, I don't need it. I don't need to be going. But sure enough, he makes his way to the psychiatrist, and in walks Denzel Washington, Dr. Jerome Davenport. And he sits down and says, Antwone, tell me what's going on. Nothing. Kid doesn't talk. I'm not talking. And the whole session goes by without anything being shared. And Denzel says, okay, I'll see you next week, same time. Kid doesn't show up the next week. So the next week, same time, on that Wednesday, 2 big burly bouncer officers the size of Donovan, man, comes dragging in Antwone and drops him in there. He was kicking and screaming, and Denzel picks his head up and says, "Hey, you forgot last week. I just thought I'd help you remember this week." And he says, "So what's going on?" Nothing, man. He just sits there. End of that session, Dr. Davenport says, "I'll tell you what, your first one doesn't begin until you start talking." And this went on. He didn't talk for time and time. It just kept rolling on. Eventually, he got it, and he shared with the psychiatrist that his father was murdered by his ex-wife, or not ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, before Antwone was even born. His mom was incarcerated and in jail when he was born. He was taken and put in an orphanage, waiting for mom to claim him, and he was never claimed. After 2 years, he was sent to a foster home. Dr. Davenport says, "And how does that make you feel?" He says, "It makes me feel like rain," which is symbolic of, for a kid, raining. I can't go out. I don't have control of the weather. I don't have control of my life. I don't have control. But up until that point, he had been in denial. He had not spoken yet. See, denial is what, so much, not so many, but denial is something that some of us may work with in our life. Not necessarily in a big, blatant kind of a way, but the thing with denial is that, you just kind of hope it goes away. Colin Powell, secretary under Bush as president, he said that just because you ignore the facts doesn't mean they cease to be. Yeah? "Oh, this isn't really going on. Yeah, this isn't really happening." I got to tell you, those are yellow lights. It's a yellow alert. Warning, pay attention here. There's something going on. Oh, no, I'm not going to look at it. No. I'm not talking today. That's it. But I got to tell you, masterful manifestors, what they do is they're willing to take a look at what's going on, because those yellow warnings, those flashing lights, you need to deal with something, not get into denial. And what I've learned about denial is it usually means I got to do something uncomfortable. Yeah, that's right. It's like, if it wasn't uncomfortable, I would have handled it by now. Usually means there may need to be some kind of conversation, confrontation, saying something to someone that you didn't really have to deal with. You may be disliked. Who knows how's it going? So what happens is, rather than dealing with those facts, I'll just assume that they're going to go away. For Antwone, things kept coming up and kept coming to the surface, and I don't have a problem fighting. I don't have issues with altercations. I get taken before counsel all the time because of my unresolved issues. I've got what some denials look like. I found this list from Jack Canfield, and here's one. It's just what guys do. Oh, you can't control teenagers these days. He's just venting his frustrations. It's got nothing to do with me. I keep my nose clean. It's none of my business. It's not my place to say. I don't want to rock the boat. There's nothing I can do about it. Credit card debt like this? That's normal. I'll get fired if I say anything. Luckily, it's only marijuana. She's just at that age. I need this to help me relax. I have to work these long hours to get ahead. We just have to wait this out. I'm sure he's going to pay me back later. Yeah. And so we don't deal with those yellow alerts. But you know what? They're going to come back and get you. And if you don't deal with them in this lifetime, you just bought yourself another lifetime. So you might as well deal with it. So he began to share with Dr. Davenport. Second session, he came in and he said, and he fessed up that it was rough in the foster home. I'm dealing with abandonment issues. My mother never came to claim me. I'm put in a foster home where I am physically abused. I get tied up and whipped with wet towels. I am emotionally abused. I'm tied up in the basement where it's dark and they light fires. I'm afraid of fire, and they stick the fire in my face. And when the fire goes out, they leave me tied to the post and close the basement door and lock me up in there. Emotionally, racial slurs from Miss Tate. And Dr. Davenport says, but were there any good moments? He said, sometimes. Pancakes. And they're pancakes. He says, what does that mean? He said, well, you know, when you wake up and you smell grits, or eggs, or the wet pavement, you know you better watch out for yourself the rest of the day. But if you wake up and you smell pancakes, it's going to be a good day. Kind of reference to that banquet table, you know, seeing that there. And so Dr. Davenport asks, were there many days like that? He said, no, sir, there weren't. Third session comes back. He shares when he left the foster home. He's age 14. Miss Tate was starting to beat him with a shoe. He took the shoe away from her. And he said, this is the first time in my life I stood up for myself. I no longer allowed myself to be abused. I stood up for myself. And I had to leave that home. I lived on the streets for the next, several years, until he joined the Navy. He left at 14, was homeless on the streets for quite some time after that. And Denzel says, and how did that feel? And he said, it felt good to stand up for myself. And as he was leaving the session, he said, here's a book for you. He took a book off of his shelf, and it was called The Slave Community. It came out in 1972, written by an historian who for the first time interviewed slaves who, as to what their experience was. And it talked about the abuse and the beatings and the manipulation and the horrendous experiences, first time reported. And he gave Antwone this book, and he said, this does not justify what took place. But what has happened is the slave community got passed, their behavior is passed down from some children to other children, down to the children, and it's how it showed up. This book may help explain some of the behavior. It doesn't condone it. So he took it and he was reading it, but his lessons were up, or his time for counseling had come to an end. And so he came back into the office, he made a scene. You can't just get this stuff going inside of me and then drop it after 3 sessions. I finally found I have no family. I have no friends. I have nobody. It has been stirring in my spirit, my soul. I'm finally beginning to experience healing. I'm finally beginning. And you give me 3 sessions and then you drop me just because it is in the code. It is illogical. Don't you get it? And Denzel did get it. He said, you know what? I can meet you after hours. And there's no question that Dr. Davenport considered that he was crossing some lines here. Because all of a sudden it changed from a professional setting to outside his office. And what began to happen was a shift from counselor-client relationship to almost what became like a father-son relationship. Antwone never had a father figure. All of a sudden, the attachment from the patient began to reach out and see him in a new kind of way. All of a sudden, the first time he's had family in his life, first time he's had a role model, first time he's had somebody he could be honest and vulnerable to, which are all part of the healing process. Denzel was beginning to, feel pretty good. Things are working. And then, just because the patterns are looked at doesn't mean they go away. He is on Liberty down in Mexico. The guys are down there. They're picking up and hooking up with women down there. And Antwone, has never been with in relationship or with a woman in a relationship kind of way. And they're just taunting him, teasing him, and teasing him that he's gay, which didn't sit well with him. And all he's had inside of him is this dissonance of being abused, of being beaten, of being humiliated, and doesn't know how to react. And he explodes one more time with this anger and beats up this guy who is teasing him. And he ends up in the brig, into which Denzel comes to visit him and talks to him. And it was in this tender moment Not all of it, your issues come up right away. It's not 3 sessions and you're done, 1 and you're done. He finally revealed that within that foster home, he had been sexually abused by Miss Tate's daughter or cousin or whoever the babysitter was, and had been consistently from the age of 6 until 14 when he ran away from there. And there's nothing he could do when he would escape from that experience. He would run down to his friend's house, the only friend that he had, Jesse. And he would tell Jesse, and Jesse said, again, he said, yeah. And he's like, he was only person he could ever talk to about that. Denzel said, you know what? Why don't you join us for Thanksgiving? So Antwone shows up on Thanksgiving Day. Has never had a family Thanksgiving meal. He's feeling part of his family. Dr. Davenport's dad's at the table and says to Antwone, I'll sure bet you miss your mom's cooking during the holidays. Boom, trigger. But it's like the first time that he didn't choose anger. See, Denzel had been teaching him, you know what? The anger is there, but what you do with it, how you choose to channel it is what makes a difference. And Antwone had been writing poems, and he removes himself from the situation. He gets out of that the dining room table and walks into another room, and he's processing his emotions that are going on. And Dr. Davenport walks in, and I've got this scene. It's a nice, touching scene.
You okay?
Yes, I'm okay. Just never had a real Thanksgiving at the Tates before.
You didn't have a real one over here either, I guess.
You have a real nice family.
Thank you.
Got this for you for having me over today.
You got a gift for me. Is it money? That's a poem. Yeah, see, without my glasses. Why don't you read it for me?
No, I'd rather you read it, please.
Who will cry for the little boy, lost and all alone? Who will cry for the little boy, abandoned without his own? Who will cry for the little boy? He cried himself to sleep. Who will cry for the little boy he never had for keeps?
Who will cry for the little boy who walked the burning sand? Who will cry for the little boy, the boy inside the man? Who will cry for the little boy who knew well hurt and pain? Who will cry for the little boy who died and died again? Who will cry for the little boy, a good boy he tried to be? Who will cry for the little boy who cries inside of me?
Who will cry for the little boy, Antwone?
I will. I always do.
Healing's going on. Dr. Davenport's thinking, you know what? This transference needs to end. It's not healthy. And so he tells Antwone that he needs to go find his family. Antwone says, I don't need to find my family. I've got you, Doc. As he's leaving, he invites his wife and Jerome to come to his graduation, his language, he's got this graduation. And Dr. Davenport shows up at the graduation. After the graduation, he says, Antwone, you know what? I need to end our sessions. You need to find your family and do some forgiveness and have some closure. And they kind of, you could see the emotions, the dissidence of, and in this expression that this can't be true, you can't be there. And Denzel says, you find them, come back and tell me how it went, but our relationship needs to end. You now need to take that next step to do your healing work. And Antwone says, but you're leaving me. And he goes on to share how his only friend, Jesse, who he used to confide in and go to for protection, he was with him. They went into the liquor store, and Jesse pulled a gun on the owner to rob the liquor store, and someone walked in. The cowbells on the back of the door rang, and boom, he heard a shot, and he turned around. The owner had shot his only friend in the head, and Jesse was dead and gone, and his only friend abandoned him through death. Why couldn't he have taken me with him, is what he said. I have nobody in my life. I'm alone. So Denzel has been working on a relationship with this girl, Cheryl. It's kind of awkward. Never done this. Hasn't really shared much. Hasn't told him he's been seeing a psychiatrist, though she's noticed where he comes and goes from. But she's given him the space. She's a Navy woman, officer, not officer, but petty officer working in a store. And he sits down and shares with her what has transpired. Became honest for the first time with another human being. And he asked her to go to Cleveland, to go to his foster home, the Tates, because he needs to find out who his family is. And that's the only person who may know. And she makes arrangements to go on leave the same time. They fly off and they go to Cleveland. And they go to the foster home, and he knocks on the door. And Natalie, the one who used to sexually abuse him, opens the door. She goes, "Oh, you're looking good, Antwone. Why don't you come on in?" He says, "I'm not coming in there." "No, get Miss Tate." And she hums and haws, and he said, "Go get Miss Tate now." And then she comes out and says, "Antwone," and just says some nasty things to him. And she says, "Come on in." He says, "I'm not coming in there. I've come to find out who my mother or father is. Can you tell me anything about my family?" He says, "No, I can't. Come on in. Have something to drink." And as part of his healing process, he is standing there confronting the perpetrators of his abuse, the emotional, the physical, the sexual, the verbal abuse, that which terrorized him and created all this. He says, "I am not coming in there. I am standing. I am still standing, and I will always be standing." And with that, he walks away. And as he's walking away, Miss Tate says, "Edward Elkins." What? "Edward Elkins, he's your father, or was your father." And so that night, once again, part of the healing process, he and Cheryl, his girlfriend, spend the evening going through phone books. Remember those? And phone books, and calling, a rotary phone, a hotel. And late in the evening, this one woman answers the phone. And he says, "My father was killed and I was born in prison. He was killed by an ex-girlfriend." And this woman recognized the story. He said, "This is Anton." She said, "Anton." And it was her brother had been killed, was his father. She said, "Come on over in the morning, let's talk." And he comes on over the next morning with his girlfriend. They both go into this house. Beautiful, curly-haired woman. He looks at him and her, and can it be? I mean, he didn't come like blood tests. This is my dad. And telling the stories and the connection, and it's feeling, yes, it is my cousin, or my nephew, or whatever that makes him. I guess nephew. And her husband says, "I know where your mom is, where she lives." He says, "I don't know if he's ready." He says, "Come on, I'll take you if you want to meet her." So he gets in the car. They drive over, ghetto. Just the place outside's a wreck. They go in. She doesn't even open the door. He makes a lot of noise. The husband opens it. The place is trash. There's nothing there. And Viola Davis, Academy Award winner, one of her first movies was this part of the mom. She looks at Antwone. She knows. She knows. She goes into the living room, just sits down on the couch, distraught, a look. I mean, she could have won an Emmy or Oscar for that role, and she didn't even speak hardly. She's just the look. And Antwone says, "Mom, I'm a good man. why didn't you come get me? Why didn't you come find me? Didn't you wonder whether I was still alive? Mom, I'm a good person. I haven't been in trouble with the law. I speak 2 languages. I serve our country. I've read hundreds of books. I don't do drugs. I haven't even smoked a cigarette. Mom, I'm a good man. And her look, she was just the distant. Her pain, her shame, his shame of not having family, of not belonging to anyone in the world, that nobody, it was not part of any clan. He said, Mom, I dreamed about you all the time. I dreamed what you would look like. I dreamed about your smile. I dreamed about your eyes. I dreamed about what your voice sounded like, what you looked like, what you smelled like, Mom. I dreamed that you were around the corner and I would go look and you weren't there. Mom, I'd look again. I dreamed you were always there, but you couldn't find me. I dreamed that you took us and bought me an ice cream, took me home. Mom, I'm a good man. She couldn't even look at him. So he kissed her. It's like that kiss. You realize that was his experience of forgiveness. The state, he stood up for himself, took his power back, and with his mom, he forgave. And he went back to his aunt's house to pick up his girlfriend, Cheryl, the one person in his life. I want to roll this. Let's end with this one. He goes back to his house alone after visiting his mom.
Hey, boy, how you doing? I'm your Uncle Horace.
Get out the way, Horace. Come on, baby.
That's the aunt.
Oh, look at you. I'm your Aunt Etta, baby. Me. Oh, I'm your cousin Jeanette. Oh, come on.
And I'm your Aunt Anna. How you doing, baby?
Oh, my Lord Jesus.
This is my wife's tea.
How you doing? Good looking.
I'm your cousin Eddie. My dad named me after your father. It's my brother Ray. What's up, dog? What's cracking, man?
Hey, y'all, I'm your cousin Jason, man. What's love?
All right, boys, open up.
His girlfriend.
Welcome. All right.
Come on, Eddie. I just want you to know the power of forgiveness.
those things that you've been wanting to deny, if you're willing to take them as that yellow alert and look at it and do the deep work that is necessary, the miracles that are waiting for your healing will far exceed. And what I want you to know is that this is your spiritual home, your spiritual family. And our doors will always be open to you, no matter where you are on your path, that you are always welcome home. God bless us. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Gia back to our stage.
Crying, sniffling. Thank you, Dr. Christian. Deep. I definitely feel like a part of this family, this spiritual family. And aptly, this song is called Grateful.
What am I grateful for today? What am I grateful for today? As the moon reflects the sun, the earth responds and all move as one. With each decision, something is begun. What am I grateful for today? What am I grateful for today? Yeah.
today.
That is Gia Ciabatte. Woo!
Thank you.
I'm grateful for you. My goodness, it's that's what I'm grateful for today. Well, thank you. I love you guys. You know, it's Richard Bach. One of the things he said, a lot of things wrote, is one of the best things you can do for a happy moment is to enjoy it. You know, the best things you can do for that happy moment is to enjoy it, to be present, to be in that sense of gratitude. And I'm just so grateful for that sense of having a home. You know, there's just a sense of coming home when we come here. I can tell those that are here among the first time are sitting there in the back crying. So we've all gone through that for sure. So, but it's moments like this every week that we come together and share our support. That allows this community to continue. Together we come and we share that which has blessed our life. And as we share the blessings from our world and collectively at Seaside, it allows this idea, this consciousness that is this community to move through time and space, sharing that light so it can be bright for all to find and see. And so I invite you to listen to your heart and allow that love and the blessings and the grace of God to well up from there and to give from that place, and know that you can't outgive Spirit. But you become the activity that Spirit has in your life. It reciprocates back the level in which you are playing. And so I invite you to invite the full expression of God into your world. And so with that, I want to invite our ushers to come forward at this time and say thank you to this wonderful crew. Thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you cannot be here on a Sunday. It is greatly appreciated. Those who participate with the auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world into Seaside. And those of you that are home watching and participate in your givingness, you know, hit that donate now button. It's a wonderful blessing in your life. Giving is a blessing in our life. That's what comes back into our world. And so I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that this is a blessed moment where the fullness, the divine begins to stir and move and boil up, and that wellspring is activated, and what flows through each and every one of us is a grandeur, is a greatness, is an ease, is a joy, is an abundance, is a happiness, is a vibrancy, it is a life where there's a renewing, refreshing, something that is moving from the very depths of our being. That wellspring is a divine spring of God that just blesses not only our individual life, but everything that we touch. So with joy, we share that which has blessed our world, and know that we continue to allow that love that we have shared with the world to multiply as it rolls ever forward. I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, that allows me to be sure that I am a practicer of this abundant flow of life. And so with joy, my life is filled with ever expanding good. And so it is. Amen. Together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. is from Seaside. Nice job. And as I stand before this bounty, I can feel the outpouring, the love and the caring and the support for our spiritual family. For I know that as we support a home that acknowledges presence and spirit and the light and the life, what we find reciprocating back into our world is all that is perfect and real and abundant and flowing, and living with a sense of ease and grace and peace and security, for the source truly is spirit. And so we share the good that is in our life, and it is received at Seaside with a sense of joy and appreciation. It's handled in good stewardship and is put forth back into life so it can continue to carry that vibration on which it has been cast. I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this wonderful moment of the expanding, abundant expression of spirit individualized in our lives. And so it is. Amen. This is Tina Board, and she is your board president, as well as married to a real film critic and put on the San Diego Film Festival, and is the one who said Antwone Fisher is a must. So along with you and Rebecca, we had it today, and my goodness, I feel just blessed by having watched it. So thank you for your guidance in so many ways. Yeah. Speaking of thank yous, Gia, thank you for coming on down here. Congratulations on your practitioner licensing coming up in a week. And Chris, thanks for driving on down. It's always a joy to have you share Sunday with us. And Carissa, you're just fabulous. We just love you. Congratulations on the engagement. Very exciting. A Missouri gal. I didn't know, man. Woo. And Catherine, always a joy to share Sunday morning with you, bringing your feistiness and your twinkle and your smile. It's a blessing for sure. Giving us sound today, Matthew, appreciate you. Thank you very much. Steve giving us the visuals today, got those tapes rolling perfectly. And the wonderful film crew and editing crew, we thank you. We've got people all over online that I'm hearing about. The chatting's going on. David Lemasters, who's handling that, so thank you very much for that. So, okay, thank you for your prayers today. Appreciate you. Audra for holding the light. And take a look at the program, see what's going on. Like Wednesday night, someone's talking about the Lord's Prayer from the different texts, including the Aramaic, the language which Jesus spoke. There's a workshop here on some ancient wisdom on Saturday. We have got Monday night, the sound meditation. Truly, it continues to grow every year, and it's a magnificent vibrational physical experience that allows your soul to move somewhere else for sure. And next Sunday after this service, you got Jenny and Dennis teaching the basic ideas of this philosophy. If you have any questions, that's a great place to come and be. We've got Interfaith Week that's coming up in a couple weeks here at Seaside. They're walking the labyrinth one day. They're having a cleanup party out there, so you can read about that. But hey, guys, how's it going? Hey, what do you think your new teacher? Yeah, we got 4 thumbs up. There we go. That's fabulous. Anybody want to share today? Yeah. What do you want? What do you got? I like your.
We made this. We made our own person today, and I made it look like I'm a baby.
Nice. That's it. Now, is that a leopard outfit you're wearing? Cheetah.
It's not really an animal.
Oh, okay. Well, I love those. Anybody else? You want to share? Sure. What's up?
Well, my name is Jordan. I'm 6 years old. I love playing games. I love eating. This is my first time here.
Hey, welcome, Jordan.
I drink water.
Thank you. And you eat fruit. Okay. Let's see. Was your hand up?
Today I made a stick man,
Uh-huh.
and to me as a baby crawling, and I'm just like, I want to go get some food.
Oh, man. It was a food day. Ramon, anything? Hey, you were swimming at my house last week, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were like a fish.
I was trying to deep down.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm glad you were there. That was a good time. Hey, let's say together our affirmation for our kids, which is, we see you, we love you, and we support you in your magnificence. Woo! We just love you guys. So the last Sunday of the month is our prayer wall Sunday. So any of our religious science practitioners that are here, I invite you to come stand today. And what I will do is I will pray, and then all of us will sing ourselves out. And then you have this wall of prayer that is available to you. Come on up and put your prayer request out there. And these individuals are trained in the art of prayer. They have a consciousness that is laser beam to see it through. Look at, this is one of our newly licensed practitioners right there, Tom. Here's another new practitioner, woo, all the way in from way out there. So anyway, I just invite you, and stand up, another new practitioner that's amongst us. So I invite us to feel this energy, this life force, this light, this love, this spirit, this all originating first cause, this something that is a sense of peace and well-being in the midst of confusion. It is an abundance. It is a joy. It is a sense of connectedness. Feel that beautiful divine download, this touch of spirit in this moment. For the grace of God is truly upon this moment in ever expanding kinds of ways. And allow your awareness to be infused. And just feel that divine touch in this moment as spirit moves through you, bringing with it an expanded awareness of the greater aspects of being. For the richness of God has its way in this moment. Acquiesce to that. Yield to that wellspring that is looking at rising up within you in ways that are unknown. And as that spirit moves through you, allow it to have its way. And it cleans, it cleanses, it purges, it eliminates, it neutralizes, it dissolves anything unlike itself. For the fullness of God has its way in this moment. Be available to that. Let go of the anchor that you have been dragging along. And allow yourself into that place of forgiveness and surrender. Allow yourself to let go of the heaviness of what was, for what was no longer need be, for what is God emerging in those ways that are right and relevant and perfect. Allow yourself to be available for that greater yet to be that seeks to express itself as our life, the beautiful life for which we have been given. And anything that has impeded that flow dissolves into the nothingness from which it came. And what remains is a grander vision, a greater vision, in which Spirit allows us to claim the greater good that awaits. That we've stepped forth with a courageousness and a courage and a conviction, no longer denying that which has held us back, but embracing that greater yet to be, that which is calling us forward into life. Letting go, surrendering, forgiving, dropping that anchor and allowing Spirit to move us forward into a greater self-expression, a greater joy, a greater creativity, a greater honesty and integrity and self-expression, bringing to our relationships the passion and the power, the life force, feeling the divine embrace as if we're home. Feel that sense of home, where the banquet table has been spread, including the pancakes, and you sit at the head. Welcomed. Welcomed. And I know right now for each and every one of us that we have a body that supports that. For with forgiveness I have seen weight be lost, tumors dissolve, arthritic conditions become mobile, pain be gone there. I've watched in forgiveness headaches, migraines disappear. Whatever you have been denying with your stories, that's the way it is. You're willing to take a look and forgive, to let go, and stand tall in the magnificence of one's being. And with that, everything that is necessary to support your magnificence materializes. The affluent flow of God manifests as your life. The richness of Spirit has its way. Health in your body is the natural outpicturing. The career expands. Whatever it is that is near and dear to your heart now has free expression. And the universe conspires to support that here and now. And so I'm grateful. I'm just thankful for the good that is going on in our individual lives. For those of us who have chosen to take this time to reunite, we find that all the blessings that come from remembering our true heritage materializes in our life. Every prayer request that has been brought forth to our prayer chest is now fulfilled. Surround our dear singer today, Gia in her wonderful expression and life, and her stepfather who just made his transition, and that his wife, 46 years, her mom, just is able to feel the love. And that her husband moves on with the wonderful currents of eternality with an ease and a grace and looks out upon a life in which there is a sense of freedom. But Judy is surrounded with the support of family and friends and daughter. Gia is just surrounded with that love and that ever-loving embrace. And for our dear sister Debbie McDonald, whose sister, longtime member of Seaside, Donna, and her husband Bill, 30-year-old son lost his life in a car accident this week, that he moves on with the ease and the grace, forgiveness, understanding, empowered soul expression along with his girlfriend. But Debbie and Don and the family are surrounded by Spirit's love with a peace that it passes any understanding. There's just no logical explanation, but there's a heart that knows all is well. The presence of God is in this moment. For Dan Pikopoulos, who underwent his last chemo treatment this last week, that he is on that one complete time here. We see him sitting here in this front seat once again before long. That his body returns stronger than ever, vibrant, and his eyes twinkle with a new poem to share with us. For truly, this is family, this is community. Seaside continues to grow, it continues to thrive, it continues to care about one another, no matter where we may be on our path. Our doors are open for those who return after years or even decades. For those who are here for the first time, they found their way home. This is family, a spiritual community that cares and loves and supports without judgment, that continues to grow and thrive, for we continue to put Spirit's work forward. And so knowing that we move forth, ever expanding our light with a gratitude and appreciation for the words we have shared that are manifesting, having its way in an ever prospering, thriving spiritual family, I say thank you. And I let go with a gratitude to that higher expression of life. I allow Spirit to have its way, since it will anyway. And so I let go and just allow Spirit to be. For it's not my will, but thy will be done. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, you are discouraged, if you're struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. Come on, Seaside. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. And I let go. Come on, let me hear you. Say no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for
Hey, and before affirmation, just want to remind you, I think it's 6 o'clock, Metaphysical Hitchcock going on right here. 9 people showed up for that movie to listen to Catherine Bonin share the metaphysical meaning. And this week it's Rear Window. It's about giving and receiving. Whoa. So come be part of that if you want. And our golf tournament, we got the signs up. Check out the date. Plan to be there. Sign up. You can go online right now if you want. But right now, our affirmation is, forgiveness frees me now. Together. Forgiveness frees me now. Touch your heart and say it again. Forgiveness frees me now. One more time, like it's your truth. Forgiveness frees me now. And our song of grace.
I am living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe. Through joys and through fears, in this world I walk. God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me, and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in
Come on up for prayer. We're here for you, by all means.